Hey guys, I'm Jenks. Thanks for joining me again as we take a look at the London session opening range break retest entry on Euro USD. Today we're looking at March. Last month, February, wasn't great. It was a down month, so we're looking to definitely bounce back here in March. If you need a refresher on the rules, please take a look at the checklist in the top right, or make sure to just go back and watch those previous two videos for January and February. So without any further delay, let's just hop right in. So on the first trading day here, we have a kind of little crappy breakout here. This might even just be specific to this broker, but regardless, this is the broker that we're using. So since that breaks out, we have an entry right here that goes on to lose, which is fine. This ends up being a whiplash both ways kind of day anyway, and no matter what our entry would have been, I think it would have been a loss here. So that's fine. We mark that and go on to the next day. All right, so we break out right here and then never get our retest, unfortunately. So we move on to the next day and we break out and we retest, but not quite far enough down to get our entry. So we'll mark it here at the halfway line, and you can see that it just doesn't come back to tag us in, unfortunately. So definitely a theme that I'm noticing over the past couple of months on the London session trading videos is that we have a lot of breakouts that don't come back to retest. So it might be worth it in a few months to kind of come back and see if we do better with a just straight breakout entry style for, the London session, or at least the London session on this pair. So on March 6th here, we have another loss. We have a long breakout, and then our retest leads to a loss, unfortunately. So we move on to the next day. And this is, just kind of exactly what I was talking about as I was looking at yesterday is we break out, but don't really retest well enough to get an entry. But a breakout style entry would have been an easy win. So even like a 2R here, just from a breakout, is a nice, easy win. So something to consider for the London session for EU, possibly, as we continue on. Let's look here. Looks like we get a nice entry here. We break out right here. We enter here. Stop loss on the other side of the opening range. And we go for 3R. Here we go. Mark this as a win. And move on to the next day. So we break out and do not get an entry. So here's the midline, no entry, unfortunately. It's okay, all part of the strategy, all part of running a mechanical strategy, I should say. Yeah, so let's move on to the next day. Looks like we get an entry here. That goes on to be a winner. So we break out, we retest, we get our entry, and we go for 3R. Nice and easily. Okay, let's go on to the next day. Okay, it's okay. We get a breakout up here. We get our retest, and it goes on to lose right away. It's okay, bound to happen. We mark out our loss and then go on to the next day. This looks like this ends up being a loss as well. It's okay. This is another one depending on the broker. Maybe this isn't a breakout, maybe this isn't a breakout, but regardless, we are using this breakout. Regardless, we're using this broker, so this is the breakout that we'll follow. And we take our loss right there. The take profit range doesn't matter so much. We mark out our loss with the highlighter and move on to the next day. All right, here on March 17th, we have a bearish breakout right here. And the retracement, the basically instant retracement, tags us in right there. Let's see if we get a win. Yeah, nice. We get a win with a nice little bit of coverage there before it would have come and knocked us out. So we'll take that. I'm just going to mark this a bit bigger so it's easier to see when we're tallying it up later. Okay, so it already kind of feels like we're doing a bit better than February, that's for sure. So let's see. We break out right here. Right? We don't break out here at all, do we? Nope. So this is our breakout right here. And no valid retest in sight, unfortunately. That's okay. So we move on to the next day. So we break out and we retest the opening range, but we don't retest the midline, unfortunately. So this is another day that just passes us up. We just have to scroll on to the next day. And I think that this is yet another, unfortunately. So yeah, we break out right here, and we don't retest up high enough during these candles to get the entry, unfortunately. So, and nothing else comes back during the session. Unfortunate, but that's okay. It's part of the strategy. Again, might be a strategy, might be a pair and session worth trading just a breakout strategy on. So, all right, let's see. We get an entry right there. I don't think this is going to be 3R though. Nope, that's only about 2.5R. So that's okay. It's going to end up coming back and spitting us out. So this is another good example of you probably want to formulate some sort of either trailing stop or a break-even scenario, because giving the market back 2R is quite a lot. So, you know, after you test out your iteration of the opening range break strategy, I highly encourage you to see if and when something like a trailing stop or a shift to break even makes more sense with your iteration, like I said. So we move on to the next day. This looks like another whiplashy day. Unfortunately, we break out top side first and just take our loss basically instantly. Mark that out, and we'll move on to the next day. So this looks like a day that we just don't get tagged in again. So we break out right here, and the retest just doesn't come back high enough to get us into the trade for the day. So we move on again to the next day, where I think we do get a possible entry here. So we break out right here. We get an entry right there. Stop loss on the other side of the range. Take profit to 3R. And there we go. Mark that with a vertical line. And yep, so just to double check. And even if this isn't a breakout on your broker, this certainly would have been. And then you would get tagged in over here for the same result. So that's good news. All right, we go on to the next day, and we just have a couple of days left here in March. So we give the market back some right here. Always seems like after we take a win, we take a loss right away. Except there was back-to-back wins earlier this month for once, which was nice. So we move on to the next day, see how we do. Yeah, this unfortunately ends up being a loss as well. So we take the loss. It's okay. And do we get one more day? One more trading day of the month? Yeah, we get one more. It's no entry, but it is one more trading day of the month. So here's the midline. Nothing ever comes back to it and tags us in after the breakout. So, all right, we're going to hop up to the 15-minute and do a quick tally on the month of March. All right, so here's the first trading day of March. That's a loss. So we're starting off 0-1, 0-2, 1-2, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4, 3-4, 3-5, 3-6, 4-6, 4-7, 4-8. So we go to 4-8, and that's it. So 4-8. 4 times 3 is 12. Minus 8 is 4R. So we're back positive on the year. If you add January, February, and March, actually we can zoom out a bit real quick and take a look at that even. So yeah, January we were 2R. Then February we were -5. So that's 3 on the year, -3 on the year, sorry. And then +4. So back to positive on the year, +1 on the year. It's not a lot, but it's a mechanical strategy. It's supposed to just be rules-based. You follow it, and you don't really have to think too much about it. All in all, that's 4R on the month and 1R up on the year for this mechanical iteration of the ORB strategy. Leave a like and subscribe if you've been enjoying the videos, and stay tuned for April in the next one.